Hello guys, this is Rohit, and in this video we are gonna discuss about timesheet, or like in your words you used to tell that attendance basically in MNCs, or in big companies or in mid-level companies, every company which where they are using the Salesforce. So the basic thing that they are using to calculate the time or automated time for their particular project or a task. So they assign any task to any of their sales or marketing guy or customer care guy. So whatever the task is assigned, and to note the particular timeline of that particular task, for that they use this functionality. So it is very basic functionality in the real time scenario. Why I'm making this video is because this particular task is very common in major projects. So I have gone through like hundred of projects. So now this is one of the tasks which is very common for all the developers who are working as a Salesforce developer. So every major or mid-level company, not major, like mid-level companies used to use this because they have, like an IT company, they have like 200 developers of Salesforce, and for every each and every developer they need to give the task, right? For a particular task, they plan the task first. Like, this is the task object, right? So they have milestone, they have projects, they have opportunity. So with the milestone they assign the task. In the task they have all the project details and everything. Along with that they have estimate time, roll up estimate time, and the estimate time, how much estimate time it will take. And along with that they have planned date, planned end date, actual date, and actual end date. So this is all assigned by the admin. Admin assign this task to the team lead, then team lead assign this task to the developers who are working under him. So this is how it works in Salesforce. So to assign this, to cover the timelines, this is a functionality we are using here. With a click of button, team lead assign the subtasks. Like, they have given me any task. For example, there are like, we are five people who are working under one team lead, and he assigned five tasks. In that particular task we have multiple of subtasks, like 5 to 10 multiple of tasks. So they will assign in that. Sometimes we have a single task which has only uh, only that thing, like integration thing. So you want a payment integration, so there's a single task, right? It doesn't have any subtask along with that. So for that particular thing also you want time, right? For subtask also you want time. So you have to write a functionality in such a way that when you're going to start the time, you can start the time on the single task as well as on the subtask. So that's the main business scenario that we get in the real project. So I'm gonna present you one new thing. So suppose, like, now the question come is, I got one task which has multiple of sub tasks. So I will start the time here. They have given me the estimate time. This is the 100 minutes, or like I can change it to 1000 minutes and change it. So I can change it to according to like my scenario, whatever the time I have put. So after that I have changed the time. Now the time is changed. Now they have multiple of subtasks. So I can't create time here. This is also the scenario. If I create time here in the time sheet, in this for the single time, because there are multiple tasks, I for the single task, like for from 1000 I want 200 minutes for this, 300 for this, and again 200 for this. Okay. So I have to give multiple tasks, so I can't assign it here. So I need to write a functionality in such a way that, so I'll open the subtask as well so that you will not get. So it has similar field in task because it is like a clone of task only, but it has like their own time. Every subtask have their own time. So we have to start the time in the subtask. So like Apex class or Visual Force sheet should be same on both the side. And if we are creating any task, like I need to create anything here, so it should calculate the time here, and it should minus the time over the subtask. So time should not be greater than estimate time, whatever the time. So what is the main functionality? I'll delete this time sheet for time sake, and I'll delete this too. Okay. So we'll refresh this, or we will open this. Okay. So now, okay. So we have deleted this as well. So now I need to start the time. So time sheet should not be more than estimate time. Okay, I'll show you the code as well at the end. I'll explain you whole code what we have written. So estimate time I have given. So with the click of button, time should start. So the time has been started. Actual started time. So actual end time when I want to end the time. So now it's 11:10. So I'll stop the time. Create updated. So with a click of button. Okay, my internet is pretty slow, so you can see the code. Otherwise, you can't see the code at the click of button. So see, I have started by 9:11. I have ended by 9:10. So time isn't calculated and minus from the actual time. This is what the concept we need to do, and I did that. So, but you can't create time here until unless you have subtask. If you don't have subtask, then you can create time here. So if I click here, okay, it will. Okay. No, it can't create time here. The time should be created in the subtask. So this is the scenario. This is the business scenario that I got. That's what I did. And task, if I go to task which don't have subtask, in that we can in in that, so it doesn't have subtask. So it is a single task that is been assigned and it doesn't have any subtask. So I can create click on create and update the timesheet, and I can start the time over here only. So you can see, yeah, you can see the time here. So this is the timeline. So it's been started, and if you want to start again, now the question arises, okay, fine, we got the time and we spent some time on, now again we want to start the time because we went to break, and whatever the time we have spent, that should be minus. Of course, you can start by the click of the button. Again, you can create the record. See, you can see record has been created and the time has been started again, and with the click of button it can end the time. That's it. So I'll show you the code now. So now we will go forward with the code part. So, okay, fine. So this is the code that we have wrote, and I'll show you what actually there inside the code. So you need to understand the parent to child theory and how to code that particular thing. And okay, fine. So in this code, we have took the list in the whole thing. First of all, we are not creating any method in this. So everything that has been done, it's like it's pretty simple. I'm showing this code you. Showing this code to you because I want to get an idea how we are coding in the real life scenario, so that you, whenever you are creating any project or anything in the future, you will get to know what else, like client will say I want this, I want that, so you have to explain the client how things work. Like you have to think like how it's gonna work. The basic concept is this, like how you can start the time and the time. So you have to think and create the code it's very simple, very basic code. And it's just a basic functionality that we have written here, so that with the click of button we can start the time and the time, we can't extend the limit. And third case, when there is subline item, means like subtask is there, the time should not be created. It's like quite simple. So now we'll go forward and see what else we have done. So it's very simple. First of all, we have taken this, and we have taken the id, the current id of the page. Page apex with current page and get parameters dot get id. So this is the current id of that particular page, and there then we took the list of the time sheet. Time sheet is nothing but the object. So we need to take the list of the time, whatever the, why we are taking list is whatever the data or record inside the timesheet that we need to replicate. So now next we have to take the subtask, like list of the subtask also. If we want to show like if there is what is the main concept behind this, I'll tell you later. Then after this, the task, we have done the query of task. So the task, all the APIs name that we have used, so that we can apply any logic on this particular object. And this is the query of subtask. Why I took this, I'll tell you again. Some logic I have applied, for that I have written only IDs I took of subtask. So this is totally linked with this list that I told you that I'll tell you later. So okay, so this is the timesheet. So I took so this is a timesheet, and in timesheet I took two list. Okay, so list of two timesheets. By actual end date is equal to null ID, where actual end date. If we have end date null, then this will work. What is the concept behind the actual end date? And this is the timesheet for created date or descending limit. So this is what, according to the business scenario, there is no need to worry about it much. And if the time list size is equal to 0, then and sub means this is the task. Subtask size equal to 0. What do you mean by this? If timesheet timesheet size is equal to 0, when we are creating any record in timesheet, the timesheet record is 0, right? Size is 0, there is no data in the timesheet. Fine. In this list, first list, there is no data. This is the list we are taking. Sorry, this is the list we are taking. In this list, there is no data. Now sub then create this record, and there is condition. It's not a or condition, it's an and condition. And if there is no subtask, if one of this condition false, trigger false, then it will not apply, it will not work. It will reply from here to return to the particular page reference. Okay, so now if the condition is true and both the ends, then it will map the all fields from task to time sheets. Okay, after this, insert the timesheet. So we are inserting a record in the timesheet after mapping from task to timesheet. Then again, if the timesheet size is equal to 0 and actual start date is equal to null. So now if there is no record over there and the start date is 0, null, then we are updating the task. Okay, then we are updating the date. If we haven't started date, we haven't given in the task, but we have clicked on the timesheet, then automatically in the task list, in this, if I haven't started the actual started date, I haven't written, but on that particular day I want to start my work, so I clicked here. So it will show error if there is no time here. There should be a concept in which we'll click the button and the date should get replicated here with the updation of the page. So this is the concept that we have written over here. And at last, if the timesheet list is size is greater than 0, if there is already a data, okay, then timesheet, this is we are creating the we are for each loop we have embedded here, and here we are, if there is greater, like this instance we are taking, if it already had a like one record I already have, and I need to stop the time, like I have started a time, I need to stop the time. For that, we have written the condition here: started date not equals to null, then date of system, then the present date will actually capture and update the timesheet 2. In timesheet 2 it will get update, and update timesheet, update task as well. Okay, so now return to the page. Again, if you are clicking, then it will go to the first option and execute. After that, second option, if you're clicking again and refresh the page. That's it. This is the whole concept. So now we are not using any save method or any cancel method because we don't want VF page here. So VF page is clearly very clear. Nothing is written, just a controller name and the action that we want to use. So that's it. So we have written action because we want to use the direct method. No need to use any like instantly. We want like with a click of button. We don't want anything. This is very clear. I think I have given very small example of the basic coding that we are doing in the business scenario in the live. This is the live project. This is the live project. We already I deployed it today, so everything is almost done. Everything is done. Not almost everything is done. So now, I have shown you because this is how things work. So this is this is very common thing in projects. So if you get go through these things, so you can get, if you want code, you can just comment. I'll send you the code. So thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe our channel. So uh, this error is coming because we are not putting ID here. If you will put ID equal to, I think I need to place each and every output at. People will say error are coming. How can you post the video? Here we go. No error as such. So if you like the video, hit on like button and comment the video if you have any doubt, anything you want. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any question or you want some further video on Salesforce, so just please uh, comment it down, and please watch the previous video as well if you want to start with the admin certifications. So from the first video, the Salesforce overview video, you have to watch. And for triggers, so I have mentioned some common triggers that is being used, and here also I have used one or two triggers for this roll up, for this role estimation and estimation timing. In the next video I'll discuss over there over that, and some more interesting triggers, triggers that in which separate classes are being used, apex classes, that also I'll show you how we have written and how we are integrating in the live projects. So continuously watch our channel. So we are very new to this channel, and we are going to post development videos more now because people are more interested in that and they want to know much about that. And thank you for watching our video.